Sorry, but that's gonna be my intro for the next 4 years. So, this is the third episode of this world. This series, I guess. I'm not really sure what to call it. It's just, it's a thing, it exists. So I'm doing it. What should we do? I didn't really come up with anything to talk about today. Oh yes, I wanted to delve even deeper to two ideas. Firstly, the hunger system. Is that the chicken we threw from last episode? We threw an egg that landed somewhere in the water, and then we got a chicken. That's neat. Alright, well, I want to talk about the hunger system, because that, when I was at the end of the first episode, I just kind of ended the episode before I could talk about how it was more complicated than it is. But how it works is actually very simple. You have your hunger bar, which is simply called your hunger. You have another bar, which is invisible, because it doesn't exist. You don't have an actual visualization of said bar. But there's a bar that is basically the same as the hunger bar, but it's saturation instead. And saturation basically is the hunger bar, except it goes down always. And once it goes down to nothing, then the hunger starts to go down. That's how the hunger system works. And certain foods will give you varying degrees of saturation, and some foods give you lots of saturation, not a lot of hunger. Some do the opposite, and some are just terrible at both. There's no real one best food in the game that gives you the most amount of hunger and saturation. If you want the most amount of saturation, you can do golden carrots. If you want the most amount of hunger, I recommend steak. Obviously cooked steak, because raw steak is obviously not gonna work. Speaking of which, I have some beef right here, and if I find another cow, I'll be able to get 8. So another thing I want to talk about is the combat system, because last episode I just simply said how to do a critical hit, and that's not the combat system, that's just a small part of it. How it works, at least currently, but it will be changed soon in, I assume, the next major update for Java Edition. But right now it's this system, and that is, it's been like this for about 3 years now. When you click, you notice this little tiny bar in the middle of the screen just below my crosshair. That's like a cooldown. That's timed perfectly with me raising up my axe. This happens because this is actually a cooldown that you need to pay attention to, because if you try to hit while the cooldown is active, you do a lot less damage. And if you spam click, then you're just gonna do horribly. Like, if you spam click with, like, punching your hand, then it takes literally more hits than the sheep has health. The sheep has 8 health points, but 4 hearts, because health points are considered measured in half hearts, so that's how that system works. That's how the hunger points work as well. It's just, that's how those meters work. That is the biggest part of the combat system, is you can't spam click like this, or you don't effectively kill things. You have to click, run away, click, and it'll work. But that's not the only way you can kill things. You can also use ranged attack, which is simply, you can throw eggs and at things, like, say, there's nothing nearby right now, I'll try it later. You can throw eggs at something and it'll take damage, but there's the occasional chicken that might pop out of the egg when you throw it, so that's a thing. And also, you can get snow in this game. You can get snow, and you dig it up with a shovel. You get snowballs, and you can throw those. And those don't produce chickens, but they do produce damage to whatever you throw to, which can be useful if you don't got any other alternative and you got a lot of snow around you and a shovel. But the next thing I want to talk about is the bow and arrow, as well as the crossbow. It's not bow and arrow, just a bow and a crossbow. Those are the two medieval ranged weaponry in Minecraft that you can get somewhat early game. So this is a steep cliff. Wait, does this overhangs? This is neat. But yeah, so that is just how the thing works. Is you wait, no, I wasn't talking about that. Right. So bows and crossbows. Crossbow by default has a higher base damage, but when you get a bow, it has lower base damage, but you can enchant it to get higher damage. Whereas the crossbow, you can't enchant it with enchants that can increase the damage. It just, you enchant it and it can do other things that you can enchant it with enchants that are exclusive to that. Also, enchanting is somewhat at late game, so I'm just gonna ignore it for now. Right now I'm actually trying to find something to throw the egg because I've walked past that sheep and I forgot to throw it at it. Except now the sheep is gone. This is depressing. Where did the sheep go? Well, there's a pig. I somehow managed to miss the pig, and I also spawned in a chicken. Chickens can't spawn on impact, even if you hit an entity like that pig. I just somehow managed to miss the pig, even though it went through the pig somehow. So, not sure what was happening there. But that happens. I'm gonna go see if I can get some coal from this ravine now, so I'll be right back. No! That could have been fatal. I'm glad that wasn't fatal. There's coal over there. I'll just get this coal over here. Are you kidding me right now? One piece of coal? Well, this is just stupid. Here's some more. Oh right, I forgot. I'm sorry. So, I made a mistake in the last episode where rain happened, except I forgot to do this, to just make the rain almost completely silent, and possibly also that might be good. Maybe that, maybe that. I just need to turn down the game sound in general. It's just, it made my voice completely inaudible previously, so that was unfortunate. So now I'm halfway tempted to get all of the iron at the floor of this ravine, except I might be at slight risk of, actually, I don't got any cooked food on me, and there's a skeleton there. This could be a very big mistake, but I'm gonna grab some iron. Gonna grab a little more. Okay, now I'm sweating. This does not feel safe. Okay, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I'm sorry. It's too stressful being down there. It'll be a little less stressful once we get, like, literally all the torches in the world. And then we can light all that up so nothing spawns in. Because that is how spawning works in this game. Is, if you light up an area, you will effectively remove the ability for things to spawn in that area. How lighting works is certain light sources have certain amount of brightnesses, which is a word I just now invented, so that's a thing. But certain things will have certain amount of brightness, like a torch, I believe, emits a maximum brightness of 14. And what that means is each block away from that torch in every adjacent direction will get one brightness less until it reaches 0. Now if you press F3, which is how I brought all this up, which is I didn't explain before, but you press F3 and you basically can't see anything anymore because it's covered with a bunch of debugging stuff. But somewhere on the left side of the screen, middle elevation, is client light and server light, and those have two values. You have skylighting and block lighting. So if I were to place a torch, suddenly we have 14 block lighting, but skylighting is 15 because it's daytime. Once the sun goes down, skylighting is going to plummet, which we should see an example of, I think. Well, I think, yes, wait, no. Wait. The sun is clear over there. Why is the skylighting not 14 yet? I also managed to come to the wrong tree. My tree house is over here. This is just embarrassing. Alright, so now we can smelt all of our iron ore and our beef because we need food. And I wish I could make some mushroom stew, however I don't got the brown mushroom yet, which is highly unfortunate, but you can make a bowl using 3 planks like this to make 4 bowls, and that's what you need as one of the things to make mushroom stew. You can also make rabbit stew, which requires rabbit and a mushroom and I think a cooked potato and something else that I can't remember. So, but we're not going to attempt to make that today because I simply can't. But one thing we are going to make today is a blast furnace, which is the other variant of the furnace, which luckily for us requires exactly 5 iron. But we also need to do a little complex smelting of the cobblestone. You may notice that when we mine, stone, we don't get stone, we get cobblestone. How you get stone is you can either, look, there's no such thing as like, you can't use scissors on it. The scissors don't just magically turn it into stone. You have to smelt the stone in here in order for that to work. Except, wait, I can do this. What am I doing? I have 2 furnaces. Well, anyway, you put the stone there, and then the stone will start to smelt in, the cobblestone will smelt in the stone. But when you put the stone into here, it will smelt into smooth stone. So that's something worth keeping in mind. So now I'm going to take the 5 iron we have to make an iron helmet, which you use in this configuration of iron ingots to make a helmet, using any sort of resource. Then I put the helmet on. We have just above our health a new bar that's our armor bar. And the higher that is, the less damage we'll take per hit. It's more of a percentage value where you don't take damage. And you never stop fully not taking damage, which is unfortunate. But that's just how it works. So we'll take these sticks. We'll take that. 6 coals should be a knife. A knife. How did I say that? This is a genuine question. How am I this bad at English? It's the only language I know how to speak. How am I this bad at the only language I speak? Sometimes I wonder that. Anyway, our steak is now done, and we can eat. Except the last bit of our hunger is not. That's infuriating. Yeah, now we get smooth stone, and we need 3 smooth stone, 5 iron ingots, and a furnace in order to make a blast furnace. Now, after this, I can tell you what these furnaces do. So, firstly, I just want to rearrange these. So, I like to place the blast furnace on the bottom, and smoke on the top. Don't know why. My mind thinks that, like, I don't know. This has absolutely nothing to do with anything. This is just simply what I like to place it in order of what to stack on top of each other. But the blast furnace can smelt, the basic resources you find underground. The normal furnace can smelt everything, but some things can only be smelted in this furnace, such as glazed terracotta. And then the smoker obviously cooks foodstuffs. Now, this normal furnace smelts, normal speed. The blast furnace and the smoker smelts twice as fast, which is why you should use food to cook in here, or use your iron ore to smelt in here, because it smelts faster than otherwise if you put it in here. You do need 5 iron to make the blast furnace, which means you have to smelt some iron in here. But the only penalty for that is time, which you got a lot of if you play in Minecraft, let's be honest. Anyway, so I'm gonna grab some leaves now, and I'll be right back. Actually, I just want to show you. This is ridiculously fast. Like, immediately I already have enough leaves. I got over a stack. Yeah, so there's a maximum number of items you can fit in one slot before the item simply cannot be fit in that one slot, and you have to put it in other slots. So you can't have like 200 in one slot. You can only go all the way up to 64, which is unfortunate. But that's just how that works, is you have that limit. Which, early game is not really that limited, but later game is extremely limiting because you get mass amounts of resources like these leaves here, but with other things, and it's just you can't keep up with your storage. You accumulate so much of it. But anyway, so now we got some birch and oak leaves. I think I'll mix these in with treehouse, and I'll see how this looks. And the answer is not that bad. I mean, there's that block missing, which is really annoying. But one thing I do want to tell you is leaves that have appeared via you growing a sapling or just natural world generation of trees will disappear if they are disconnected from a log like this, or other trees that are connected to a log. They will start to decay like this. However, if you hand place them, then that doesn't matter, because they will still look for their distance to a log, but there's a tag that you can actually see right here if they're persistent or not. On the right side of the screen, that's the only colored text on the screen. And you should see it flashing between true and false. I'm looking at some of the naturally grown leaves that was originally part of the tree, and it says persistent false, which means if I get rid of these logs here, they will start to decay. But these hand-placed leaves that are in the roof, those are true. That means that even if the log is removed completely from the tree, those will continue to exist. Which is a good thing to know. So you don't have to like place blocks to support every single leaf block. It's just, if you're messing around with this particular scenario where you have kind of like a mix, it is useful to just make sure that that's a thing, and it's like you're not going to lose any leaves, because that's kind of unfortunate when that happens, because it's like kind of like this is our home, and like it's kind of like having it on fire. It's unfortunate. Anyway, I kind of ran out of things to do. I'm sorry, my brain is a little slow today, but I think I'm just gonna go ahead and get some more stuff from that ravine. I'll just be right back. Yes, I forgot. So there are an additional 3 different kinds of stone in this game. Variants of stone, basically. You have granite, diorite, which I'm not gonna mine because there's gravel right there. And just mined it. And then there's andesite, which should be yeah, there it is. Andesite is the one with the most ambiguity between, you know, normal stone, because it looks so similar. So this is it right here, and it's so similar you wouldn't know the difference unless someone told you. And all of these different types of stone, you can put 4 in a thing like this and polish them. My favorite is the polished andesite, because it's that's a bit worrying. Alright, we got 2 new things here. This is a bit of a grand opportunity to talk about these. So that thing right there, around the corner, is an Enderman, and when you look at it, it will freak out and attack you. So just don't look directly at it. That thing is a witch, and that will also attack you, but there's no melee attack, it just throws harmful potions at you. The Enderman is special because it teleports randomly, and when you anger it, it will just run around and teleport towards you, and those are slimes. We're meeting so many new things today. Alright, so I'm gonna make my way down here because I got some food and I actually can heal, so this is a good opportunity to do this. Except I should always leave an escape route. And there's a skeleton. So when this happens, you can always hold up your shield and the skeleton will I mean, shield is actually very effective at just blocking literally everything. You saw it blocked the zombies' attacks, it blocked the arrows coming from the skeleton, and it even blocked the creeper's explosion. So that was just an all-in-one how to protect yourself. Anyway, so I made my way over here because I want to get these slimes. Mostly because I want slime balls. Which there's one over here. So an interesting thing about slimes is the smallest version, which is this cute little thing, is so small it can't do any damage to you. But it keeps trying even though it just can't, and it's just so cute. And it's harmless. But of course, this is the only way you can get slime is by killing the small ones. And unfortunately, it's only a random chance, so that's unfortunate. Anyway, I'm down here for some of this iron. I'm gonna get some of this iron. You know what? I'm gonna see if I can attempt to kill this thing, because oh god, this was poor timing. I'm gonna see if I can attempt to kill this Enderman. So this thing is actually neutral. You can approach it and it will not attack you. You can even push it like this and it'll simply not attack you. It's only when you look directly into its face is when it will attack you, or if you hurt it. And there's two ways you can actually try to kill these things. You can either use water, which is actually their weakness, or you can use a shield tactic. So you can anger them, look away. They only start to attack once you actually break the line of sight, and you can just do this. Now, meanwhile, they will have a very, very creepy, scary sound when they get angry, but you can kill them, and unfortunately that one didn't drop what I wanted. But they can drop ender pearls, which you can throw kind of like a snowball or an egg, except it has a weird side effect where once it lands, you will teleport to where it lands. And you will take a little damage. It's because it's actually fall damage. It's the same amount of fall damage, it's not dependent on like how hard you throw it, which actually you can't really control that. It's just you throw it and it's the same amount of how much you throw it. Anyway, so we got some lava here, which I can get like real up close to it and it won't do anything. It's only when I get in it that it's gonna hurt really badly. And anything I throw in it is also just gonna get deleted. So if I throw this in, that just caught on fire, and within seconds, not within the first second, it was gone. So that if you die and your items spill out and you're in a lava lake, you might as well just start over from completely scratch, because that's just, you're never ever going to get those back because they're deleted from the universe, which sounds unrealistic because matter cannot be created nor destroyed. I'm sorry, I'm bad at English. But this is Minecraft, and Minecraft can be whatever Minecraft wants to be. It appears it's starting to get dark, which is highly unfortunate because there's a lot of things around here that might be a problem. So if you're ever caught in the middle of wilderness and you need to sleep, then you can just place a bed. The only problem with placing a bed is if there's monsters around, because if there's monsters around, then obviously they're gonna try to attack you while you're in your bed, which is awfully rude of them. But also, if you have monsters nearby your bed or anything hostile, except for slimes for some reason, that's the only exception. When you have something hostile near your bed and you try to sleep, it will simply say, "You cannot rest now," because monsters are nearby. Is basically just that how it works. And usually that happens in the most inopportune of times, because you're trying to sleep so you can get rid of the monsters, which is a huge issue if that's what's happening. So I'm going to have the episode here because last episode was over half an hour long, and I'm trying to keep this one shorter. So, just bye. Just goodbye. I'm sorry. Just